I'm back, buddy. Today I'm going to be doing a recap of everything that we have seen in Devlogs, Tritter, from Scrap Mechanic about Chapter 2. So let's get into it. Before I get into this video is going to be broken up into segments. So, start off with, first segment is going to be over sort of general things, so like features and that. Second segment will be bots. Third segment will be NPCs. Fourth will be events. 5 will be places, so like locations and that. Then 6 will be items. 7 will be parts. 8 will be plant. So a plant and a seed. I say that because there's only one currently that's been announced. And the last one will be outfits. Ooh, so let's get into it. First up on the feature segment is Cress. Yes, we're getting Cress. So we've only got this one screenshot to go off of Cress. But there's a new Cress system for the next chapter. And I'll guide you through the story while letting you continue playing at your own pace. There's also a dialogue system that's going to be added to the game. Letting NPCs talk to you. And as you can see, they give us an image of a player talking to an incoming call. So we're going to get some sort of phone. So by the looks at this is the farmer we see at the secret farmer bunker location. Not a bunker, but it's like a big warehouse. I don't really know what to call the building. But obviously they've blurred out the text, so it's really hard to read. Wouldn't be surprised if there's some skilled people out there who's probably worked out what sheep word is, as they are somewhat readable. That one there is probably of. Along with Cress, we also get Builder Cress. Again, we've got one image, but you can see here, essentially, these will be random places throughout the landscape. And essentially, we just need to build the structure that is holographically being projected there. For example, here, we've got like a lookout tower. Essentially, we're coming across characters that need your help with various things. Help them out, and they'll have some great rewards in return. And we'll get back to this guy later on. Next up is underground digging. So as you can see, we're going to be able to dig using plasma drills, dig through terrain, and yeah, generally it's digging. By the looks of it, this is all underground. So this is probably on the underground. You probably won't just be able to dig wherever you want. You probably can only dig in the underground. And then, what we can see here is constantly in dirt with cracks in it. So it looks like there'll be only a certain type of terrain you can edit. So normally you have to use a drill. But if we go down to where it talks about it. Some parts of mine will require special types of drills to get past. In some cases, explosives will be needed. So you'll be able to dig through it, but some of them you will need a pack of explosives for. They put a lot of work into making vehicle digging into a fun and creative experience. You can see here it's pretty simple and easy. Obviously it does get not as bumpy, but like, so your sticky wheels make it quite an easy process to get around. And it's finally happening. We are getting wedges. Wedge update. Shout out to Wedge again. So as you can see, wedges can either work in a 2D format or in a 3D format. As I also mentioned here, wedge scaling and move on survival is a different system from simply block scaling. This was showed off in Devlog 22, but we have had some more sneak peeks at it since then. As you can see here, we can have wedges have been updated. Now you can see they actually have a border, which is like good considering the texture on the side wouldn't add up properly. Some of them would. It also has little slits. That wouldn't add up well with the sides. So we go back to where we saw the yellow top bot and look around the scene. You can see this guy's in a house, and you can actually see they've been using the wedge blocks, which is the green wood planks up here. You can see they're in big bulk, like actually, what it appears, a wedge is going to count as one big, like part. So you customize it. So let's say I want a wedge which is like 3 wide and 5 back and 5 high, and it'll be essentially a custom part. And if any part of it breaks, the entire thing breaks. From the looks of it. As we can see later with the red tobot. So we can see here, we can see the same blocks, and it instantly breaks along where the seams are. It does. So as you can see, there's a very slim one that broke, and a very wide one that broke to either side of it. And the lines with the other ones stay the same place. So it doesn't. So they're their own part. So if they break, it does break all of them. So it does make them a little bit more vulnerable, instead of having a bunch of blocks. By the looks of it though, they do have 1x1 wedges. It's possible. You can see them right here, along the edge, the underside. And here's a change. The bed is getting a redesign and a change to how it works. Over on Scrap Mechanics Twitter, approaching nearly 3 years ago now, they did treat the bed is going to get a redesign and a fix. Each bed will have 5-time use until it breaks. So you can respawn 5 times, and then you have no more bed. This is a account of some bed exploits where mechanics can avoid to eat, among other things. You know what I'm talking about? Essentially, if you didn't want to worry about food or water, you could technically, the water a bit more painful, it runs out a lot quicker, so you didn't want to eat. You could try it literally, let yourself get knocked out, that's the word I'm looking for, and then just respawn, and obviously you have more of your food and water again. Obviously you do respawn with limited health, and you generally tend to lose on most of it. But you can see the bed has redesign, it has a little LED or lights on the side to show 5 uses. When it gets to red, or maybe this is actually when it's broken, not sure, but it'll slowly get more damage. We've also been teased some of the new graphical updates kind of scrap mechanic. First one being new lighting system and glass shader. As you can see right now, this is normal glass behind me, and I guess that'd be a good comparison to what the new one would be like. Starting off with the new lighting system, you can see the bloom off the neon sign here. You can see the light sort of radiating off, illuminating the surrounding air. Got some shots of the warehouse. You can see a light. Actually, see a light now travelling a little bit near the light. And yeah, actually a lot more gloomier. A lot more bloom to it. You can see here the sparks and the whips of the tollbots. I don't think this is any combination of tollbots in the warehouses. I think this, by the looks of it, might just been a group of them that are spawned. Yeah. New lighting system, long time coming, and it's almost done. It's been completely reworked for the next chapter. Significant improvements to game visuals and further optimize the frame rate for players. Now you can enjoy better performance, even with high resolutions like 4K. Out of curiosity, who plays Scrap Mechanic with 4K? You can now double the amount of light sources and are no longer limited to 24 cast shadows anymore. Any light cast a shadow can now render in real time. But wait, there's more. We also have volumetric lighting in our engine. It looks stunning. Even the particles are volumetrically lit. All helps create the look and the mood that we always wanted to evoke in Scrap Mechanic, especially in the next chapter. For example, in the warehouse right here. Okay, the new glass shader. As you can see, we can actually see a bit of a cast in the shadow. I don't know if it was reflection or shadow. Can't really see the colour well in this sample, but I can see the mechanic in the glass and a bit of the background. See the glass also distorts a little bit. So you can see here, this is a good example of distortion. See the glow bug. And it goes through the glass. You can see it's all warped to the side. Because having worked on content, after introducing a new and improved lighting system, we mentioned in the last debug, our entire elite team of graphic engineers have been working on updating the game visuals according to modern standards. This time we decided to introduce our newest glass shader, which allows in-game glass to shine and distort like the real thing. So your building, vehicles and other questions can look better than ever before. And just one of the graphic updates we've got in the works. There's more, which is very exciting. Next feature is quite hot. Because it's fire. Yeah, I wonder what that flammable meant on that your wood blocks and that. Well, fire's coming Scrap Mechanic. You can see here, this unlucky fella has caught his trailer on fire. But you can see you can put it out with water. Oh, that does rely on being close to water. That or you're going to have to carry a water bucket with you. Or a water cannon, or a water tank. And you can see it can be damaging if you let it get out of control. See it slowly engulf this building. And you can see, this is a different building because the vending machine wasn't. It does engulf the entire building. Leaving nothing behind. Well, yeah, leaves nothing behind other than stuff that isn't flammable. So, I'm actually curious, are the antennas flammable? Same with the vending machine. But yeah, fire and Scrap Mechanic. Everyone wanted those flammable entries in the item description means. Long last, we have added fire game mechanic. Fire will spread if you do not put them out. With its introduction to the red tollbots, we expected that things are going to get a lot more heated. This might be a good time to check whether your base is fireproof. We thought it might be interesting to also show you how the fire mechanic in action. Fire is a lot of fun to play with in creative mode, and it's certainly fascinating to watch. And in survival, probably a bit more of the opposite. It does mention that the red Totbot here, though from the explosion we saw earlier, it doesn't look like they were causing fire. And that was obviously in the Deadblock 25. This is 24 right here, but 25 doesn't show red Totbots causing fires. So potentially that's no longer a thing, or is unlikely to happen. It's hard to tell currently. This next one was been teased, though it might not be finalised. It's the lift. I know what you're saying. We already have a lift. But we're getting a new animation for it. So again, on their trailer, they teased they're testing out a new lift animation today, making it a bit more fun, yay or nay. You can see pretty much when it's placed or removed, it still has this sort of like getting teleported or beamed up sort of animation. Which is a lot better than it appearing and disappearing halfway across the map. So it's actually quite a nice animation to see. It adds a lot more, sort of explains how it gets around. I haven't seen anything in devlogs confirming it, but it is something they were looking into. But if I had to guess, we'll probably see something like this come to the game. Along with that, there's also a lot of other graphical changes, but there's already been 2 announced, and by the sound of it, there's more to come. Start with the bots. So currently we have the green tote bot, hay bot, farm bot, the blue tape bot, which is like the normal variant, which we're aware of currently, and the red tape bot, which is the explosive variant. Okay, that's all the bots we got. We've got 5 currently. Well, so far, there have been 8 new bots announced. First one being the cable bot. Okay, we first see the cable bot in Deadblock 21. So it's a nice little guy. And, yeah, essentially, they will swarm your creations. They'll swarm you. They'll be in swarms. They travel big in numbers, love digging holes with their cable clippers. No one knows why they're that deep in the underground in the first place. Perhaps you'll find the answer to this mystery in a future update. So we've got a bit of lore hint here. So probably something's driving them down there. Also, you don't know it yet. The story, they've been heavily guarding. What? Any spoilers around that? Over in Deadblock 2, we do actually get a bit of gameplay footage in GIFs. They do a lot of GIFs, these Deadblocks. You can see here, there's a whole swarm of them. Like, there's probably around, I don't know, like around 20. Just right here. See, scrap mechanics here is just shooting at them. Hard to tell how much damage. I don't see a health bar or anything, as we are zoomed in a lot. But there is lots of them. They appear to be mostly getting 2-ish shots. You can see here, this one sort of looks like it gets shot twice, like it gets point blank. And also, they're not going to be fun for your vehicles. I think. You can see they are slowly swarming this vehicle, and you can even see them latching on to important parts. For example here, they've latched on to the engines. And that's not the worst part. They will steal your fuel. So they either bite onto your vehicle, so it's like this engine, and they start going at it, slowly trying to break it. Or other times, they might simply leech off your battery or fuel resources, which also be an issue. Now here it says battery or fuel, so it doesn't mention like the chemicals which you need for your sticky wheels. Imagine being on the roof and them leeching that off. That wouldn't be good. But yeah, generally, fuel is a bad thing to lose. You lose your fuel, your vehicle's sort of dead in the water. And I don't think you want your vehicle to be immobilized with a swarm of these coming at you. Hopefully it has something to help you get those batteries back afterwards. But more on that later. Next on the list is the trash bot. The first boss in Scrap Mechanic. The trash bot. As you can see, it's the biggest bot they've made so far, though this is the first devlog with any mention of Chapter 2, so potentially could be bigger. So you can see, he is essentially a trash collector bot. There's also gone rogue, and it's also covered in sticky goop. So I don't know where it's even been, but yeah. First boss, gonna find him on top of warehouses, and first boss, see, it's on like a big pile. Yeah, she's just sort of gibing outwards. But yeah, first bot. See, the height difference is actually really high. Farm bot, if I recall correctly, is probably around double the height of a Scrap Mechanic. Or mechanic, I don't know why I keep saying scrap and for fun mechanic every time. But it's probably around here, so yeah, a lot bigger. Got a nice side-on view here. Nice view of all the garbage he's collecting. As you can see, he actually goes back really far to make room for all the garbage he collects, probably. I've just noticed. I think someone forgot to hide their cursor. That's interesting. I actually just noticed that. Someone mustn't have hid their cursor when they took the screenshot. Anyway, we do actually get some examples of what the fight will be like. So it has straight shots, which shoots from the sides and its arms. And it's capable of swiveling around. By the looks of it, it's probably going to be more of a stationary boss in the centre constantly. And it's able to hit the ground below it to throw out like sort of a trashy sludge sort of wave. Which you obviously don't want to dodge. And it also has sort of a heavy, like big cluster ball attack. Which by the looks of it is actually made up of bolts. Apparently it's also capable of curving around. So like when it shoots out, you're going to be a bit vulnerable. It's capable of blinking. But I don't fully know what that is meant to be right now. Potentially that's a cue or a certain attack, or maybe it's when it's vulnerable. As you can see here, you need to shoot its eye. When you shoot its eye enough, its head falls out. So its head essentially falls to the ground. Which you can then hammer its energy source, which just happens to flop out. Which probably only stun it for a brief bit. I'm guessing it's all being like your sort of classic boss fight where you need to do this like 3 times, probably, or just damage over time. That's just the damage you do to health. Okay, in Deadblock 23, we do actually get an update about it, but they have mentioned here they're considering not even showing it off until release. So this is probably the last we'll ever see until the Chapter 2 actually is released. And we'll see here it's not textured. But you can actually see it doing its shoot attack, which sort of comes out more as a spray, it looks like. And obviously it goops you up, which slows the mechanic down. And it's actually slowly moving around by the looks of it. Looks like it's stepping its legs and moving, or it's just lifting its legs up and down. It's slightly hard to tell with all the goop that sort of covers that leg. But it is mostly staying in the centre up here. And you can see here, it also has its shots attack. You can actually see beats and feet and that coming off it. But that's everything for the trash bot. Okay, that was the trash bot. Now, for the red toad bot. Or, as we learned in the first devlog, red guy. So it's back in Deadblock 20, they called it Red Guy, low in Deadblock 25, we do know it is the Red Toad Bot. So I think that was sort of obvious. So you can see, essentially it's a Toad Bot, but instead of green it's red, and secondly, instead of its whip, it carries explosives. So as you can see, this one here has 1, and its friend behind it has 3. So by the looks of it, they'll be varying in how much damage they deal, but I don't think one, if you safe from one to start with. They also give a pro tip. Hit him with a couple spuds before they get too close to comfort. I don't know anything from Minecraft. That would be a good idea if anything that explodes. Okay, red toad bot. As you can see here, both these have 2, so potentially they could just have 2, but permanently now. So it's the only way we actually see them. So you can see here, guys mining. The mechanic comes out, mining his own business. To find a red toad bot. So by the looks of it, they will spawn in the overworld. As this one was literally chilling. Although now I'm looking at the background, I really want to blow those rocks up using them. Just saying, for explosives. But yeah, they will ruin your day. But it looks like though, the explosion, as you can see, the explosion is not as big as it is from resources around here. And obviously it depends on the strength. Like, there's not wood around the door frame. Not really damage, so it's minor damage it will cause. By the looks of it, those are actually the new wedges. I've just actually realised those are actually red pieces. So you can see here, if you shoot them, you can make them prematurely explode, and they do have a little bit of panic animation by the looks of it. Where they realise they're about to imminently blow up. They do damage vehicles, and they also drop their heads. Just like the toad bots. Oh, green toad bots. Yeah, it's the minor damage, but also they take out one of the main wheels in this case. They were originally designed to clear away mine shafts using explosives. Some of the red toad bots have since wandered up to the surface. So yeah, so we're probably going to be through them on the surface, but you're probably going to find more of them underground. If they see a mechanic, they will ignite their payload, then start rushing. So essentially, if you see one, you could potentially run the other direction and it'll blow itself up in time. Okay, that was red toad bot. Now, going from the red toad bot to the blue toad bot. Let's get into it. Blue toad bot was recently announced in Deadblock 25. As you can see, it is one up the shark bot with a shark fin, but it's packed in a drill, propeller, behind the drill, and it came prepared with flippers. Where you were once safe from the waters, well, you're not anymore. See here, it just passively wanders, and okay, it's actually really terrifying seeing its head do that constantly. Yeah, once it sees a player, it will start charging at them, or swinging at them with a drill. It's actually doing drill damage. Do you think it'd be safe on land from this water predator? It can run as well. And this guy is sprinting. Although the bot costume probably doesn't help him either. But yeah, he's getting chased down on land. Originally designed for offshore drilling, which is interesting, because at the moment we don't have rocks in the water. Has since decided to become an underwater torpedo instead. To man's worst, it can also move fast on land to catch up with any mechanic that aggravates it. So watch where you dive. This all-terrain predator is something not to be messed with, essentially. So you don't know much anything about damage or HP from pretty much any of the bots. Okay, that was the blue top bot. Now onto the yellow top bot. Yellow top bot loves to go really high up and hit you on the head, essentially. As you can see here, it likes to pound the ground, launch itself sky high, and come down with nice impact. Which obviously wouldn't be good for you. They will go through ceilings, so running the building, you'll not be safe. They can be stunned when they hit their heads. You can see here they do break stuff though in the process, but they can stun themselves. Or something falls on them, like a vent, it can also stun them by the looks of it. And of course, if they do land a jump on you, they will knock you over, which obviously will not be good in a fight. You can see from all this, they appear to be a surface enemy. And then again, they are also heavily not doing anything story related, so potentially they could be in story locations. Any of these bots can be in story locations, they just haven't shown it because they don't want to spoil anything. Ready to adjust your base walls high or crank your vehicle engines a bit higher? So the base walls means they could potentially be involved with farm raids. And obviously as a lot of people build very low walls, that's a concerning one. Also, as you can see, they are, obviously this is all low durability sort of materials, they are pretty good at breaking through a lot of it. Like, that guy instantly pounds a lot of scrap wood out the way. Already designed as a fully autonomous power trail that essentially is designed to compact the ground. It's gone renegade and now stomps across the planet, eager to flatten any mechanic it sees, no matter how many ceilings or floors it has to smash and process. So it will go. You hide inside a building, it will still go after you, and most likely will reduce that building to smithereens. That was the yellow toe bot. Now on to the miner bot. Okay, the miner bot, the first flying bot in scrap mechanic. Essentially would have been what would have been mining. Essentially, you find them in the underground, and they fly around. They will try to drop rocks. You can see they carry some rocks on them, a little cargo pouch, and they'll try to drop them on you. Not as accurate as tape bots, but also they large numbers, which means you could potentially get swarmed a little bit by them. Could add up. Once you shoot them down, well, they're essentially a bike. By the looks of it, you see this one literally comes on a corner, drifting. Yeah. That wheel thing at the front is actually a drill. Now it would normally be dig through train, but also it will try to use it to hit you. It will do charge. It will charge at you. These heavily overworked bots are flying on fumes after all. They've been digging random holes underground in every direction, slowly overheating for who knows how long. If spotted, the miner bot will spray any mechanic it detects with a shower of rocks. Not as accurate or alert as the tape bot, but can be very dangerous very quickly in large numbers. So there'll be a lot of them, but even if you shoot them down, watch out, the miner bots will still crash into you. The miner bots should not be something that can even top the current bots. Yeah, as you can see here though, by looks of it, be found. Don't actually know if we have a name for this place, but this is the underground to start with. It appears to be some sort of, I don't know, foundry, but essentially a ginormous structure in the underground, and they'll be around. Yeah, that's the miner. You can see here, the thrusters are constantly doing whole bursts. Pretty where it's like running low on fumes. Okay, that was the miner block. Now on to the green tape bot. The green tape bot is essentially, instead of shooting tape, it shoots bubble wrap. And it also has a bunch of stickers. But it looks it doesn't sound like it's on attack with stickers. It looks like it just loves to stick its friends with stickers. As you can see, they've literally stuck them all over themselves. But as we can see here, they will be found in the grow labs. Obviously, they'll really get away in Twitter, but it was pretty similar shot to this. They normally bubble up fruit and veggies until the latest film update made it run amok. This is an interesting hint at a possible story. No other devlog have actually, there's been no reason to why the bots have been acting weird, and we got a little hint here to what potentially has happened. So I'll get into the stench that dirt at the end. Army roll weaponized bubble plastic. It will not pack as much as a punch by itself, but a bunch of them can ruin any mechanic's day. So that instantly is saying this is the easy version of the tape bot. As I'll see, if anyone's played, tape bot, a blue tape bot, which is in game currently, does 55 damage per hit, and they shoot probably around every second or second and a half ish, or 2 seconds. So they two-shot you. So 2 of them will try easily instant tap you. But if it takes a bunch of them, probably looking at less damage, which is going to be quite handy. That was a green tape bot, and just like tape bots, there's 4 colours variants currently, and the last one is yellow. Yellow tape bot is a little different from the other 2. It shoots paint. And then bot for the civilized age, the yellow tape bot was perfectly harnessed, designed to keep everything neat and tidy and sorted by painting labels with its special 4-coloured ink. Following disastrous firmware update, now a hint to the story, that made it run amok. However, this mechanic has found a new purpose. Now it uses the same sort of ink to hurt and slow down any mechanic it sees. So to start off with, we've got another enemy now which slows the mechanic down. See here, his ink is now very sticky. And sort of blobs on the mechanic and pulls. But it looks, you can see the kills near the pull, actually starts sticking to it as well. So that'll slow them down. And if it's on the player, it'll constantly keep sticking them to the floor. It'll slow them down. So instead of like a roller launcher, it has a pipe and sort of squirt gun. Essentially, it's the painter bot. Again, as you can see in the background, this is the Grow Labs. Both these shots, all these shots. Except the top one, because there's no background. Again, another enemy you find in the Grow Labs. So essentially, so far it looks like Grow Labs is sort of like the easier version of Warehouse. And also here we've got the easier green bots and the yellow bots, which ain't as damaging. But there'll be probably a few of them, and then a lot of green tape bots. That's just like warehouses. But this is generally meant to be easier. On to NPCs, of which we know 2. We've seen concept art for both, but we have also seen one of them in an actual in-game screenshot. So let's get into it. To start off with, we get a Berry Rock. It's just a concept art we've seen of it so far. Important to note, it does say 3 new NPCs, so it's probably more than just 2. The other one is, well, we don't know who he is still. By the looks of it, he's had a very bad day, as he's lost half his mustache. But go back to where we saw the builder quest, we can see this is the same guy. So he'll be one of the people we'll be doing builder quests for. Other than that, we do not know his name, nor what he'll give us in return for doing his quest. Next up is events. To start off with, farm raids are again reworked. You can see Triller towards the end of last year. To post this, they've started reworking the farm raids in survival mode. You need some extra love. Raids will be way more fun and exciting with the new changes. So to start off with, so normally, currently in chapter 1, we normally get when the farm raid happens, we get an alert and we get a countdown above crop. See, now you can see it actually shows that the threat level on the wave. I'm not quite sure what seeds these are. It's been a while, but I'm assuming there's probably broccoli nearby as broccoli in the hotbar. Other than that, not much else to go on. But I'll say it does also show that the plants are being targeted, so a lot nicer with GUI. The next mini event is drill spawners. As you can see, drill spawners will just come out of the ground and essentially is a ginormous drill ship, which then ejects its drill to then launch bot spawners. See, this is another one underground launching bot spawners, which is spawning toad bots in this case. There are 3 drill spawners here. But other than that, don't know if it's just toad bots are spawning or if there's anything else, or if they'll be part of the new farm raid system. That could explain where the bots come from. That's all we got for them currently. Next up on the list is places. And to start off with, the entrance to the mining island and a build the underground. To start off with, this is most likely going to be the mining island. And here's the entrance to the underground. As you can see, there's a lot of equipment around. Though it's hard to tell what they do. Most likely just to move rocks now. As you can see, the rocks are sort of piled along the edges. Got barriers to hold soil and that back. So there are sort of cave-like systems on the ground. Some big drops, big old areas in some places. And we get into this really unique sort of like mini biome, I guess. Don't know, I'm assuming this is probably some sort of moss and like red plants, red flowery plants growing. In this room it's going to be like, try open. So I'm going to try an open area. See, it's like purple, I don't know, like purple rocks or something on the bottom. Some of these plateaus that are on these pillars. Got more concept art here. So for like things like bridges and that by the looks of it. Or fan covers. So maybe we think of that would be cool there. Or a ball dropper. So I think it's gonna be a bit of a mix of like challenge mode, most likely. We're gonna have to move something to a certain place. But get into a bit later. Again, another blues ground sort of biome. Here we do actually have water. That's nice. So we have sources of water in the underground in some places. You can see here, there's like puddles of water outside. A river here. And again, like this is really open. Like they're probably looking to try a large area underground. This new location includes new adventure and gameplay options that we can't wait to share with you. This chapter adds new quests and NPCs that will take you to the next stop in your journey, the mining island. So the quest net will guide us to this place. Still don't know where this is, though. My guess is still somewhere north of the map, as I did go through and actually mapped out the entire map, and it's a ginormous rectangle. And also there's a big space up top. So yeah, my guess is probably up there. And also if we go in there, don't go in new and big secrets. We also get shots at caves and that, so you can see one here, the mechanics going through the glow stick, another one going through here with a vehicle. So there will be some basic forms of caves. Next up is underground facilities. I say underground facilities because we don't know the name of them. So to start off, we're going to head over to Trier, where they released this a while ago, but it is underground tunnels. CBS scaffolding creates around the edges. By the looks of the ginormous drills came through right here. Okay, underground facilities. So as you can see here, got some that's set on top rock pillars, and we can also see the 3 pods which we normally see at the mechanic station, so there'll probably be points we can probably set our spawns down here. Okay, I could also look up here. I can see they appear to be some small puzzles, or at least be like lifts across certain gaps. So down here, but we got a lift up, and we've got a lift over here, got a lift going to the other one. Got a bit of concept up here. Again, we can see that platforms go up and down. Got a dropper by those over here, and we've got platforms going across. The neat thing is, this is where we're going to get something called a freight battery, and we're going to need this to open a gate at some point. So we have to transport this. By looks at it though, it will attract enemies, so red tote bots in this example, and there will be pads that we can recharge the battery. This is apparently called the underground station, and obviously these shots don't have the correct lighting or particles yet, as we've already seen the lighting graphic change in the later devlog. Okay, we've got another different facility this time. On devlog 23, last one 22. As you can see here, there's like passageways, stairways. I made big areas. This looks like areas we'll probably encounter the miner bot. You know they'll fly around, so it'll be quite easy for it to navigate up and down these sort of areas. This one is, I don't even know how to describe it. Cable management gone wrong, I guess is one way to put it. But other than that, we'll call it these tubes carrying balls. We can see one up there, barely. We can see one that's perfectly balanced top there. Got one that appears to have been put into some sort of socket, which has probably opened up something. It's like hard to tell what it's opened, but there'll be certain challenges, sort of like challenge mode probably. And we've got another one here which looks like it's about to go down a slide. Okay, this shot looks like a ginormous foundry. See, there's metal. This is probably where all the metal will go to be refined. I have mentioned I can't go into what these are, so currently it's just speculation we can really get into. This is most definitely a foundry though. But other than that, it's hard to tell what the other places are exactly. I guess you could say there's a bit of a cable hub going on here. Next up is warehouse changes. So let's get into it. Warehouses are changing. For example, in Deadpool 20, this is the first time we see anything related to warehouses getting changed. And we're going to see that this one looks like it's getting blown up. Then we're getting a bit of a rework, changing a few things around, adding some new elements. For example, parts that I can't find are not built at the moment, so chapter 1. But in chapter 2, they will. The new house will also be including additional quests and story elements. Best weather up because things are going to get dangerous. And also, warning my dev, this update might cause old warehouse keys to turn into circuit boards. Next thing to know is that the trash bot is going to be on top of the warehouse. We have some new sections of the warehouse, though. This one here is quite similar, what I recall. That's about, I don't see anything different until this room. This is I don't believe we have a room like this. Yeah, a new section, secrets, better rewards, and some really interesting content hidden away on top floor. And the rooftop, which is obviously where the boss is going to be. We did manage to sneak some images from the dev team that don't spoil too much. So if these look similar to places we already have, it's probably good these are more the basic rooms. And the more important ones, like the room that has that switch in it, we probably haven't seen it because it's probably story related. Last place on the list is the Grow Labs. So the Grow Labs, as you can see in the background behind the green tape box here, is essentially a facility that specialises in growing a lot of different plants. See a lot of them in like containers. Aquaponics appears to be the main way they're growing stuff, although some things appear to have grown a little big. Like this root that's coming out the ceiling. To more note that we do get the green tape bots and the blue toe bots here. Getting back around the yellow tape bot. See, I don't quite know what's in this container. But yeah, I'll see. We get blue toe bots, green tape bots, and yellow tape bots. Try not to get caught on saying their names. Slightly confusing as they're all colour changing. But yeah, it is a nice big room. A lot of cover. You can see a lot of these pots aren't all just like against the wall. They are dotted around the edges. So when fighting things off against tape bots, you will have cover. And not the cover which is destroyable like in the warehouse. So also nice look at all the glass shaders. And also the lighting changes. Room 1s are great, but we've been working hard on populating the game world with additional cool places to explore and loot during the course of the survival mode adventure. One of these places is the underground grow lab, so that's probably why we see tree roots at the top. These little dungeons offer exciting combat and some cool plunder at the end for those who venture inside of them. So get nice loot for doing these. And these will be scattered across the map. They'll be similar to the abandoned ruins we've currently got. Although a lot more exciting. But yeah, this will help shake stuff up. Also says that there'll probably be other things. Yeah, but let's say additional cool places. One of those, so there are other places. We'll see, there's build quests, which will be scattered across the map, items, schematics, and all that. So yeah, just another place to explore. A very cool one to look at as well. Okay, that was the places. Next up is some more of the odd items I couldn't really put into a list. Starting off with the warehouse key. So start off with the old warehouse keys are going to be turned into circuit boards. Going to this post. Also the other one, it says I think this is newer though, if I recall correctly. So it looks like they probably have changed their mind since that dev blog to change them into circuit boards. But also the new key actually looks like a key for stars and appears to be a 2x1x3 in height. So yeah. Or maybe it's 2x1x2, slightly hard to tell. But yeah, that's the new key. Second item, trying an exciting one, is a multi-component kit. Looking to upgrade your gear to the top tier quality or craft some of the new items that you'll find underground? You'll need better components. Introducing the new multi-component kit, created to help you get you the highest quality stuff that survival has to offer. Okay, it's hard to tell if this will be replacing the cost for like level 4 and level 5 on new engines and that, or if it's possibly even higher levels that might be added. Probably just 4 and 5 getting changed. So instead of needing 8 or 10 component kits to get to level 4, level 5, it'll probably be like a few of these. Nice change, as at the moment it does take a ton of component kits to actually level stuff up. So it'd be nice to offset it to something else. Offset does mean you're going to have to venture further into the game to level stuff up to higher levels. Obviously some new items, so we know there's new things like saw bots and that, or collectors, or refineries, things like that. It's probably what this is going to be needed for. I was not in full screen. Last item on my list is the cable roll. So I'll look at one of the new resources in the next chapter. It's always a good idea to have few of these cables lying around when crafting new items. So we know we're getting a battery generator, so generally for that. Yeah, and most likely these will be dropped by the cable bot, because they have a cable bot at the back of them, so makes sense. Yeah, so I've got like the concept art of it, and also you got an actual in-game part. But it'd be a 1x1x1. Now looking at it, I wonder if I could use these as wheels. Guess it might be a little bumpy, the bit of the cable poking out, but that would be an interesting choice. But yeah, it's a new resource to use to craft stuff. New resources coming, so we know we've got rare precious metals coming. We've heard gold mentioned in, I think it was one of the plasma drill comments, and we also know in plasma saw that there's a crystal, some sort of crystal rock that'll be mineable, so that'll give you some sort of crystal in turn. Right, other than that, got an odd item here, which is a pink garment. But yeah, we got this pink garment box. It's hard to tell what it will do currently, but yeah, it's just an image, no description, just that. Okay, now I'm gonna move on to parts. First one being is the sticky wheel. So on Deadpool 20, we first see concept art for the sticky wheel. And a little in-game screenshot. Let's see what's up through. Styles they were originally looking at for the concept art. But this is all the style we're going to do that with. Generally, these are for vehicles that can drive in every direction. So you got walls on the ceiling, where normally we used to always do it with thrusters. So this would be a lot more fuel efficient. Over on Deadblock 22, we actually get some in-game screenshots of screw wheels in action. So you can see here, they're part of a drill vehicle, digging through terrain. You'll see the sticky wheels and how they actually work. Essentially, they have a little bit of, I don't know what it's called, like a stream of goop. So it sort of gets stretched from where it's touched, and that pulls the wheel towards that spot it was on. Obviously, if it's not connected to anything, it doesn't do anything. So, yeah, essentially, it leaves the little goop spots where it connects. It also leaves a trail of the goop behind it. Yeah, a bit of a shot here of what a wheel without it looks like. It's probably a good time to mention, these wheels will require chemicals. Deadpool 23, again we get more shots of it, though this time with the turret seat as well. Going back to Deadbook 21, we can actually got a better shot of the sticky wheels here without them being gooped up. Okay, and let's not forget Deadbook 22. Also here we can see them getting turned on, sticky wheels, obviously you can drive around without using chemicals to power them constantly. Also here, this guy, not careful, you lose contact with the ground, you will fall backwards. Gravity will take power, or hold of you. So here you can see this guy going straight up side of an abandoned ruin. Yeah, so if all your wheels on contact, you will have really good mobility. You can see here, but obviously you're not careful and go over a gap, you'll start to get a little unstable. Obviously the devs will try happy with how it turned out. They have a nice goopy look when you drive. Also you're going to need them when you're digging in the mines. Also you're going to have to go up walls and ceilings, especially if you want to dig upwards. They most likely have a pink purple colour goo by default instead of the yellow green shown in the GIFs. Also letting you into paint them in other colours. Currently sticky wheels are using chemicals as a resource, but we'll still be testing them out so we can get the perfect balance between consumption and use time. Also getting used to the chemical container. Okay, that was the sticky wheel, so let's go into the plasma drill. Okay, plasma drill in place will look just like this. And obviously when it's activated, we'll open up and shoot plasma. You can see here, got one of it opened and closed. The open one isn't shooting plasma, so it's most likely is going to require some sort of fuel. Or it'll only shoot plasma when there's something mineable ahead of it. If I have a guess, it will probably require some sort of fuel. Make no sense for plasma come out of nowhere. Or it might be because they aren't spinning. Also, the basic drill is a great tool, but it can't break through some of the tough layers of rock in underground, which is underground bedrock. Plasma drill has added power and improved reach compared to the regular drill. And obviously bores through the underground bedrock. It's also a lot more comfortable to use than the basic drill. Over in Deadbolt 22, we're going to see the plasma drill in use. Here we can actually see it shooting out plasma, and it's capable of drilling through the terrain or the bedrock. So it's just straight away just drilling pretty quickly. It's really hard to this one here. These might be a little speed up. When we look at this one, you can see it takes a couple of seconds to hit a break here. But yeah, that's the plasma drill. Okay, from the plasma drill, we're now going to move on to the digital clock. Okay, a digital clock is quite literally what it is, a digital clock. New interactive part, and the best part about it, other than showing the time, which currently you have to look in your logbook for, so you can have this on your vehicle and check around to get off and all that, is you can set it to a specific time, so say 5 minutes before midnight, so 11:55, and it can activate a trigger. So your base defense, 5 minutes before midnight, your base defenses will be on, which means you don't have to go and manually turn it on. You can be ready and just know your defenses will be on while you're ready to shoot any bots that come. And as always, nice simple part. Okay, from the digital clock, we're now going to move on to the battery generator. Okay, the battery generator does what it says, generate batteries. It's a new part. So as you can see here, you can put an entire battery container inside of it. So you can fill it up straight to the battery container. Obviously, to make batteries, you are going to need that battery container. Generate batteries without it. To generate batteries, you actually need to turn this red lever on the side. So you can see here, they're turning it with a gas engine and rotating it. Electric engine and other things requiring batteries will be very useful during your time on the ground. And when you need batteries, there's nothing more useful than a battery generator. Simply place a battery container inside it, spin the red valve, and the battery charger will generate new batteries. You can spin manually by hitting the valve with a hammer, but if you rather save time, you can also create a gas engine powered arm that will spin the valve for you. We plan to introduce more intro parts like this in the future, with new creative ways to interact with like this one. We can't wait to see how these type of parts will spark creativity. The Q&A they did at some point, I forget when and which one of the two that it was. There's two. But they have said they are looking at ways to make it so we cannot use controllers to generate batteries. Okay, that was the battery gemmer. Now on to digital signs. Digital signs. They finally go around to adding digital signs. In late game survival, you often end up with a lot of chests. These signs will let you label things so that they're easy to find. Not just that, but they can also be used to leave a message and help decorate your creations. They come in 3 sizes, with a selection of customizable screen and text colors. You can also see they do support different formats, so if you've got a guy flipping a table on top one. Also, we've got the small one here, which is like 2x3. Got a 5x2. Obviously, these are 1 high. And then we got 8 long sign top. I'm measuring that correctly. And yeah, it's digital signs. We've got a plasma drill, but not missing plasma saw. Okay, to start off with, we don't actually get any in-game shots of the plasma saw, but we do get try-free concept arts for it. So we've got a big one up there, which is most likely, I'm assuming this is probably the one they chose. We'll see here, you get to see the other iterations that they were going through. Introducing the plasma saw, the saw is sharp enough to go through trees like butter, so it's going to make wood harvesting a lot nicer. But it can even cut through crystal rocks. Presumably these will be found in the underground, but we have not had any other mentions of them. But why stop there? Plasma saw can also be used to boost your creation's defense against those pesky bots. Okay, so we've got drills and saws, but it'd be nice to have something which we can easily control with a mouse. Well, that's where the turret seat comes in. Okay, the turret seat, as the name implies, is essentially a seat which you can aim with. So you can see here, this mechanic is quite easily just looking around where they want to drill, and they're drilling. But why stop there, when you can also mess with the boss? For some reason, this guy just wanted to throw them around. But this is probably the more intended idea. Turret seat. So obviously currently the build turret seat in scrap mechanic, we need a lot of bearings and engines to make a seat that can move around, and even then it's quite finicky. This one, just aim where you want to shoot with your mouse, and you'll shoot in that direction. Well, we'll give spud guns in it. It was on their secret to-do list for a very long time, so I'm assuming there's other things on this list. This new part lets you drive like a normal seat, but also allows you to freely turn in all directions, as well as letting you build anything you like on the front. Arm it with a mountable spud gun, or equip it with drills for precision digging underground. You just have a few examples of all the ways you can use a turret seat. We had a ton of fun testing the new seat, and we're confident that you'll have a blast using it. Oh, I'm mostly looking forward to strapping some thrusters on it and see if I can make something fly. Am I the only one who feels stupid enough to try that? Okay, next up is the sawbot. Okay, sawbot. What I'm sure it is a bot with a saw. But other than that, gonna give it any block you want, and it'll turn it into scalable wedges. Over on Twitter, we did get a small video of the sawbot in action. So here we can see it, try taking items in, sawing them, and then output them. Hard to tell if this is something you go into and just queue up like a craft bot, or if it just takes blocks it can find and convert them. You see here it does get a little violent, but looks it. But also in the background you can see it does allow you to make these scalable wedges. Next up on the list is the ore collector and the crusher. So we got the ore collector on the left and the crusher on the right. Now these look very similar to the current resource collector and resource refiner. I forget its exact name, but it was something like that. But these are essentially the higher tier versions. Underground is filled with all kinds of new ore containing rare and precious metals. You're going to need to for all your crafting and upgrading needs. The underground is filled with all kinds of new ore containing rare and precious metals you're going to need for all your crafting and upgrading needs. So upgrading is going to potentially need resources, not sure, or linked to multi-component kits. In order to squeeze every drop out of what the new chapter has to offer, I added 2 new tools to mechanics retrofire. I really cannot pronounce that. The ore collector and crusher. The ore collector will gather rocks that you mine underground, and when it's full, it will feed its payload to your newest helper bot, the crusher. By crushing the rocks into fine powder, the crusher will allow you to extract those precious rare metals like gold. Essentially, this will hold the underground resources. I'm assuming the current one cannot. I'm assuming the resource nodes are probably going to go on the side here, so it's pretty like where these sort of circles are on sides. It's like one slot potentially. I'm not sure though. Ever wanted to grow your plants on the go or anywhere other than on the ground? Well, you unlock the new UV grow bed will help with just that. Okay, UV grow bed. Essentially what it is a grow bed, but also has UV lights to help plants grow for when the sun's not out. So obviously on the ground, There's no light, so the crops won't grow. Can't have a light without power. You're gonna need batteries to power it. By the looks of it, you don't need to power them when they're out in daylight. But obviously on the ground, you're gonna need to power them. Power fire on the ground or on your creation with the new UV grow bed. This new farming item gives you greater flexibility than ever in exchange for electricity or batteries. But be careful, bots will still find you and your precious crops, so you better encase those veggies in some sturdy materials. But yeah, essentially, grow your crops wherever you want. Somewhere there's no light, gonna need to give it batteries to, we'll see, so it has a light. Okay, next up is the ore prospector. Okay, the ore prospector. Essentially what it does, taking the finely crushed powder you get from the ore crusher, or finely grounded gravel, producing an ore crusher. And you put it in here, and you essentially filter out the rare materials like gold and more. So there are others valuable resources you'll get. Machine designed for both mechanics that love to build automated crafting chains, as well as those who like doing things manually. Yeah, and also it is going to need water. It essentially shifts you materials. Hard to tell if you can just shoot water into it, like it looks like that's what this water cannon does. But I guess we'll find out when it comes out. Okay, next session, plant. And I say plant because we've got one new plant coming to the game. That's been confirmed. Potentially the others, but we only know of one currently. So all the way back in Deadbook 20, we got the hot chilies. Great chili comes with great responsibility. This plant is definitely going to bring the heat on you and your farm. So make sure to give your base defense a boost because this chili sounds like trouble. Just watch out for the kind of bot it attracts. It sure looks like a handful. Most likely this is referring to the red toadbot, as this is a hot chilies and the red and obviously red toadbot explodes type thing, so probably referring to that. It's hard to tell though. But yeah, as we can see that sort of concept art for its drill stages and some different variations of the seed packet. Not sure if there's 3 different types or just one type. These are sort of like concept art, but that's all we got for this section. Okay, next up is outfits and some customizations on the side. So off with we get the wild outfit. Next up is a fancy tuxedo. Next up is a mine outfit. We actually get some concept art for this one. And as you can see, the glow bits actually are like vibrant, dark environments. Don't produce any light, but you can see them quite easily for a cool effect. Also, we've already got the farm hand and farm outfit, but we don't have a backpack for them. So you can see here, we've got a backpack for both of them to complete the outfit. Is it a cow? Is it a rock? Nope, it's just some guy in a rock outfit. Well, we get an outfit for the mechanic. Over on Twitter, they did also have a concept art for the glow bug. We get a glow bug outfit, though we haven't seen it in the dev blog, so it's hard to tell if they're going through with this concept or not. But most likely probably will, as they've already done the rock, so it makes sense to the glow bug as well. Okay, I pretty much covered everything we know about chapter 2 of Scrap Mechanic. So guess to leave off with, yeah, pretty much all that's left now is to wait patiently. Their blog did mention that they're aiming for this year. Other than that, no release date. So what we can do is wait patiently. And yeah, that's everything for now. So until next time, see ya.